Mark about the Redskins. We had a little conversation yesterday about the Skins and this whole situation with Kirk Cousins. So I'll talk to Mark, great guy. He actually used to do radio here in Atlanta way back, a long time ago. So the Scribe, I think that's what they used to call him. So we're going to talk to Mark and get his thoughts about what's going on with Redskins football, what's the thoughts on Kirk Cousins, his thoughts going into tonight's game. And how about this? We'll probably even ask him about this Redskins name controversy and Daniel Snyder and not wanting to change the name and see what he has to say about it. Very, very opinionated brother. So we'll get Mark Gray on a little bit later today, and you don't want to miss that talking Skins football. DC Sports as well, okay? The Nationals are in the postseason. We had triple-digit call-up yesterday and talk about the Wizards are actually playing good basketball. He looked for them to make it to the playoffs again this year. So we'll talk some DC sports with my boy, Mark Gray. All right? The number to the show is 404-382-0338. 404-382-0338. The funnest show on turf. Make sure you tell somebody. Pass the word. We're on Spreaker.com. All you got to do is log in, set up your account, and anytime I have a live show, which is going to be Monday through Friday from 11 to 1, you'll get it instantly. The podcast is downloaded instantly after the show. We're doing it all around here. Don't go away. Up next on the Doug Stewart Show, I'll give you the latest on the extortion of Jameis Winston. That's right. You don't want to miss that. Also, top sitcoms of all times, your calls, and we have fun. Don't go away. Keep it locked. It's the Doug Stewart Show. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out, "I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl." Well, get with the times with the long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on the DougStewartShow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
Detonate like a missile in the midst of Kuwait. I crack a cold can of duff and purposely fall in love with bartenders that fill my mug with the drug that I chug. When I quit guzzling, the muzzle just stuck. Ain't no way to disrupt the hustle of this sub. Crenshaw Boulevard, I kid you not. And if you fit the description, you might get injured or shot. It's a sinister plot against us and all that we got. I tell you more, the distress is stressful and adds to a lot. Gotta hand it to cops and only register props.
That's a clip from Sanford & Son. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. You can text the show at 770-847-0536. Or you can email me, Doug at thedougstewartshow.com. And the number to call in is 404-382-0338. Couple of tweets here. A couple of texts from Eugene. Says Bill Simmons goes ham on Goodell on his podcast. Your thoughts, Doug? Remember, this is the Keep It Real show. Oh, yeah, this is definitely the Keep It Real show. Thanks for the email or the text from Kevin. Kevin says, Martin, Sanford & Son, Jefferson's. I'm pretty sure you hear a lot of that conversation today. And Scotty, Sanford & Son is still that show. I watch that show in good times with that fine-ass Thelma at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I 100% agree with you. I think Thelma was probably like my first crush. Seriously. I can't think of anybody else who I was like madly in love with more than I was with Thelma. Thelma from Good Times. Good Lord, Thelma was fine. And I actually got to meet her a couple of years ago. The Bros, the fraternity I'm a member of, I'm a part of, the Q Sci-Fi, Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity Incorporated, had our national conclave in D.C. And Thelma, Bernadette Stancis, whatever her name is, actually had a booth there. She had a booth and was basically selling her autographs or her books or something like that. And she still looks fantastic. Thelma still look good as hell. I am serious. She looks good as hell. So I'm pretty sure most dudes my age, that grew up watching Good Times can identify, can relate to the fact of how beautiful Thelma from Good Times was, man. And back in the 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Ooh, Thelma was that girl. All right, 404-382-0338. 404-382-0338. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining me. Make sure that if you're a company and you'd like to get some sponsorship out there and you'd like for I knew at some point I was going to do that. The 2 Live Stews and the Doug Stewart Show to promote your brand. Please email me, Doug at thedougstewartshow.com, and let's do some business together. All right, let's do some business. Yeah, business. Let's do some business. So do that. Doug at thedougstewartshow.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, all over the place. And I got all of the chats all linked into one thing. So if you hit me on any of those mediums, I'll see it instantly right in front of me right now. So it's a good thing. All right. I mentioned to the break talking about extortion, and today's episode is entitled Extortion. We got 2 cases of that to talk about. One, Jameis Winston is in the news. There's claims of extortion against Jameis Winston from his advisor. Now, what we know is David Cornwell, the high-profile attorney who often works in the world of pro football, and he's advising Jameis Winston's family, he was determined to take this extortion bullying story public. So determined, in fact, that he tweeted out that he was sending Florida State a letter on the issue, talking about it, the fact that this lady that accused Jameis Winston of rape last year, that her and her people are trying to get $7 million from Jameis Winston. Okay? Here's a tweet that David Cornwell sent out. It says, who tries to extort a 20-year college student, 20-year-old, I guess, for $7 million? And unprofessional? And this was in response to John Clune blasting David Cornwell. He's the representative for the young lady, and talking about this whole extortion case and the fact that they have this deal that they're trying to work out behind the scenes. And then Cornwell responded also later in another tweet and says, why no denial of his $7 million demand? And so basically he's putting them on Front Street that they are trying to get $7 million out of Jameis Winston to not pursue the case any further, or to let it die, or to shut her up. And very crazy stuff. On Tuesday, Jimbo Fisher announced that Winston would no longer hold a weekly availability with the meeting press conference or a session, a decision that demanded no explanation when you see what's going on with Jameis Winston over the last couple of weeks, and obviously pretty much what's happened or been going on with the guy ever since that he's been at Florida State. So very interesting stuff with Jameis Winston, and you hate to think that a college kid is getting extorted. You'd hate that. I mean, the situation was horrible at the time it was going on. Not a good situation, obviously, but it's been over now. It's been the story has basically come to an end, and no charges were filed against Jameis Winston. And so now it looks like that there's some extortion going on. It looks like. Now, we don't know the whole story. We don't know everything, all the details about what's going on with the situation, but that's the story coming out of Tallahassee. Supposedly talks broke down between them at some point. It's kind of being insinuated that there was some conversation about some money and talks broke down, or Jameis's people decided they didn't want to pay it again, or something to that degree. We're not 100% sure on exactly the details of that, so we're going to keep our eye on that story and get you more information on that. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338, and today is a Throwback Thursday. A little bit later, Mark Gray is going to join us to talk about the Redskins and about the big game tonight and Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football between the Redskins and the Giants. How about this? On this day in 1997, NBC Sports broadcaster Marv Albert pled guilty to assault and battery of a lover. You notice how they said lover, okay? He was fired from NBC within hours. And if you remember this story, Marv Albert basically went, I don't know, Dracula on this lover, okay? Allegedly biting her all on her back. Part of the story is he was wearing women's underwear or women's clothing, underwear and lingerie, and just like assaulted this chick and like brutally handled her and all this, that, and the other. Actually suspended from calling games in the NBA for a short period. But because he's Marv Albert and because he's probably down with the commissioner, David Stern, and they probably play golf together and go to dinner together, Marv Albert was back. Now, Marv Albert's probably one of the greatest play-by-play announcers in the history of sports, not just basketball, but I don't know how many other people would have got a second opportunity after basically sullying the reputation, because he is affiliated with the NBA. I don't know how many people would have got a second opportunity, and Marv Albert's been calling games way, a long time from now as far as calling basketball games. So it really hurt him for just a real quick second, but not that much, because I don't think most people, I definitely know young people don't know this story or haven't heard of this story because no one really talks about it, and it is in the past. So I guess you really don't need to talk about it because today is a Throwback Thursday. We're talking about throwback things from the past. Yeah, Marv Albert is that dude. He's a biter. He will bite the hell out of your ass. I'm telling you, he will bite the hell out of you, Marv Albert. Look the story up. If you're at an age where you really weren't paying attention to that many sports stories back in 2001 or 2000 it was, go back and look at it. Go back and look at that story and check out the story on Marv Albert back in 1997, as a matter of fact, not 2001. All right. The number is 404-382-0338. Here's a text message from Kevin. Kevin Sanford says, Marv Albert, a.k.a. the Big Biter. Scotty, he bit the hell out of that lady. A brother couldn't have did that, though. Yeah. I don't think nobody should be biting nobody. Not if they don't want to be bit. Now, a lot of times people want to be bit. But evidently this lady, and I think kind of the story went that she was down with the biting, but Marv just took it excessively. He just took it too far. Kind of like Adrian Peterson whipping his boy's ass. He just took it a little bit too far. So, very interesting story, very strange, especially if you follow basketball and you're used to seeing Marv Albert, basically take on the mantra of a noble guy and this great voice and this gentleman. And then when that story came out, you was like, damn, everybody got some stuff in their closet. Everybody got a little freaky side. And that's not just a little freaky side. That's a big freaky side with Marv Albert. An incredible freaky side with Marv Albert. Yeah, crazy. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show.